As UFC 324 approaches on January 24th, the conversation around Justin Gaethje has shifted in a way that feels different from the usual fight buildup we normally see. This is not just about who wins or loses anymore, it's about health and how well Justin can perform, and whether this stretch of fights is quietly marking the end of the era of the most violent careers the UFC has ever seen. And oddly enough, the entire discussion started with a YouTube freeze frame, seriously. A few weeks ago, Gaethje released a new episode of his YouTube series, The Art of Violence. It was standard training footage, lifting, sparring, eating, talking, nothing out of the ordinary. But within a few hours, social media did what it always does. People zoomed in on two things: a red mark on the right side of his neck, and what looked like a sore on his lip. Almost immediately, speculation took off that Gaethje might be dealing with a staph infection. Anyone who follows MMA knows how serious that accusation is. Staph isn't rare in gyms, and it has derailed fights and careers before. Once that word gets attached to a fighter, it spreads fast, really fast. But this time, Gaethje didn't let it linger. He went straight to X, formerly Twitter, and shut it down himself. He said the mark on his neck was a healing ingrown hair, nothing more, and the lip sore that had people panicking. He said it was literally brisket hanging out of his mouth from a freeze frame while he was eating. During the vlog, he even added a laughing emoji to the post, clearly irritated but still joking about it. That response mattered because Gaethje is not someone who usually explains himself. When he does, it is usually because something has crossed from curiosity into nonsense. To add some perspective, Dr. Brian Sutterer, a sports medicine physician who often breaks down MMA injuries online, weighed in on the situation. He says that even if a fighter had a minor skin infection, a 3-week window before a fight is typically enough time for antibiotics to clear it without affecting competition status. In other words, there was no medical emergency here in this case, just internet speculation filling empty space. But while the staph rumor died quickly, it opened the door to a much bigger conversation that Gaethje and his team were not trying to avoid. Because health is not the only thing people are questioning right now, there are a few more things. They're questioning how close he is to the end. Gaethje is 37 years old. In lightweight terms, that is ancient, especially for someone whose entire brand has been built on absorbing punishment and giving it back harder. It is a long time. And recently, his longtime coach, Trevor Whitman, made something very clear on Justin's future. This is likely their last run in MMA. Whitman told ESPN that they are no longer interested in being gatekeepers. They don't want legacy fights just for paydays. They don't want to stick around long enough for the sport to take something it won't give back. The rule for this camp is simple, very simple. If Gaethje loses at UFC 324, retirement is very much on the table for sure. The priority becomes health, family, and walking away without regret. If he wins, the plan is different. Very differently, they may plan a few more fights. If Gaethje wins the interim lightweight title, the goal is to unify the belt against Ilia Topuria, who currently holds the undisputed title but is on hiatus for personal reasons. After that, the idea would be a few controlled defenses, then a planned exit. No endless comeback attempts, no slow fade, just one final chapter written on their terms. That context changes everything about UFC 324 for Justin. Because standing across from Gaethje on January 24th is Paddy Pimblett, one of the UFC's biggest draws and a fighter riding serious momentum after knocking out Michael Chandler in 2025. This isn't just an interim title fight, it's the main event anchoring the UFC's massive new deal with Paramount+. The company would love a Pimblett win. A UK star versus a Spanish champion is an easy story to sell, and Gaethje knows that very well. He's openly acknowledged that he feels like the spoiler again, the veteran standing in the way of a cleaner, more marketable future. It's a role he's been comfortable with before. He's also chasing something that no one else has done before, becoming the first 2-time interim champion in UFC history so far. From a health standpoint, Gaethje has been clear. He feels ready. He feels cleared. He's not entering this fight compromised or hiding anything from doctors. He's not chasing a miracle run. He's chasing what he believes is a perfect 25 minutes. That phrase says a lot. Not chaos. Not violence for the sake of it. Perfection. That alone tells you this version of Gaethje is thinking differently than the one who used to walk forward with his hands down and dare people to swing. He's still dangerous, still violent, but he's aware of the clock now, both the one in the octagon and the one in his career. The betting odds reflect the uncertainty. Gaethje has been an underdog in some early lines. Younger fighter, fewer miles. More promotional backing on the other side. But inside his camp, there's confidence that experience still matters. That composure still matters. That understanding when to press and when to survive is something you can't teach quickly. It takes time. This fight isn't about proving toughness anymore. Gaethje did that a decade ago and proved himself. This is about control, about execution, about finishing a career without having to ask what if later. So when you zoom out, the staff rumors almost feel like a distraction. Noise layered on top of a much heavier reality. This might be the last time we see Justin Gaethje fighting with something meaningful on the line. Or it might be the moment that earns him one final run at undisputed gold. Either way, this doesn't feel like business as usual. And that's why people are paying attention. So I want to hear one from you. Do you see this as Gaethje's last stand, or do you think he has one more title run left in him if he gets past Pimblett? And does knowing this might be the end change how you watch the fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. I'll see you in the next one.